Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be bringing you some gameplay of the Barbarian. And I'm sure you've seen a bunch of Barbarian gameplay before, but I haven't tried them yet, so we're going to see how this goes. And first I'm just adjusting my game here because some of the stuff they have I don't necessarily like. Okay, elective mode, advanced tooltips. Alright. I need to know, how much damage things are doing, not just, what the skill is going to do. So, the main thing that, you see here with the Barbarian is, especially in the beginning of the game, it's just ridiculous. Just one hit.
I seek the fallen star.
People are going flying,
it
bodies
fell on the old
there.
cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with
Now,
her.
if you've seen any of the beta,
Captain Rumford, more data coming.
about this, but
can't open the gates
I
until
haven't
we
used
turn
it
them
yet,
back.
like I said, so this is just way too easy, though.
I've never seen anyone fight like that before.
Now, obviously, the
Guards,
game
open the
gets
gates.
a lot
We'll
harder
find Leah at the slaughtered
as you
calf
go
inn.
on. But for right now, like you see, it's just one hit, everybody's dying. And I like that. That's what a barbarian should be like, Barbarians are supposed to be these big tanks that just deal out damage and you just sit in the heat of battle.
Are you Leah? Rumford said you survived the fallen star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but... Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Your cattle smiles on me.
This is killing business.
And in case you're wondering, I am going to be quiet for all of the discussions so that you guys can hear, in case you guys don't know about the storyline, which is amazing, by the way.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
I will send them back to their graves. I will save your town.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do.
For the most part, I think I like probably everything about this game, except
We've
for
been under siege for 6 days now.
one
Uncle
major
Deckard is
thing.
still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
There's, like I said, there's one major thing about this game that, kinda, I don't really agree with. And without ruining the storyline for those of you who don't know, I can't really talk about it now, but when it happens, later down in the road on the game, I will definitely point it out because it's, like I said, it is probably the biggest thing I have a problem with.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that new Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
So as you can see, I unlocked the second skill slot, which is the right-click mouse button. The first one you start off with is Bash, generates 6 Fury, and it's 150% weapon damage with 20% chance of knockback, which is, good if you get into a little tight situation with a big group of enemies. And then I just unlocked Hammer of the Ancient, which costs 20 Fury, and does 200 damage. Has 5% increased critical hit chance, and if I remember correctly, this is a pretty nice visual skill. You kind of create a hammer out of
How can I
nothing
help fight the
and
risen
then
dead?
destroy the earth.
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Your warriors will be avenged.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors. They're attacking the barricades!
So we'll see if we can give you a little demonstration of this hammer of vengeance. So like I said, you kind of create a hammer out of nothing.
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Kind of looks like skin, actually. Oh well.
I, Deckard Cain, have spent many years traveling and writing about the strange creatures in our world, but the sight of the wretched mothers still haunts me. They are the remnants of Queen Asilla's slaughtered handmaidens who were twisted by foul magic. Now they feast upon cadavers and regurgitate them as newly formed, risen dead. I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
See, at the beginning of the game, you know, the only thing that really drops is non-magical items. But later on in the game, that's the only thing you're going to even want to pick up are magical items, because it's just a waste of time for anything else. Mostly because without magical properties, they're not all that good. And secondly, they don't sell for anything. I think you get like 2 or 3 gold per item, which is just terrible. It's insulting. See, as you can see, kind of waited there to point this out. Your fury does go away. So yeah, it takes a little bit, but it does start to go away. So that is the one bad thing I would say. You can't just keep your fury. You have to go into the middle of the battle and generate some before you can use it. Which I guess you could say that encourages you as a barbarian to really, run in and just keep moving forward.
Dear reader, I am Abdalhazir, adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this incredible world and its creatures through my insightful missives, often at grave risk to myself. Why, I was recently in Honduras, where my tents were ransacked by vicious quill fiends. I was able to beat them off with a shoe, but a less bold man would have fared far worse.
These unholy creatures can rest now.
Alright, so I gained another level, and got a new skill, Cleave. So we'll see how that is. Now, in case you guys are wondering, I'm not, trying to do a speed run here or trying to finish the game, at any quick pace. So, I'm going to explore down in the dungeons because there's normally a lot of good experience and also gear that you find in chests and stuff. So, I'm going to go down into all those. So, just don't, be patient with me here. Alright, so Cleave generates 1 less fury per attack, but it hits multiple people for 120% weapon damage. So, we'll try it out. right now, at this point in the game, we have the luxury to really, you know, try things out and do what we like.
Holding it. More fury.
And so this turned out to be a good decision to come down here because there was an elite person. For those of you who don't know, elites have they're like the yellow ones, and they have specific purple names. The other one is champions, and they normally come in 3s or 4s. And what they do, they're like, you know, the same kind of a thing, but it'll say like dark, you know, something, or like champion something, and they're basically just bigger, and they can have, you know, more properties, but it's just fighting a much larger, you know, force. Whereas the elite is one person, but they're normally stronger because it's only one, and also they have the minions with them carry their specific magic properties. So say you get an elite person who reflects damage.
Not enough fury.
Their minions will also reflect damage. So you have to be careful about that, because you know you can run into the middle of something like that, and without even, you know, realizing, you just killed yourself. So that's some of the stuff you have to, you know, watch out for. You can't. I know the Barbarian is meant to just, you know, run in and just
Old
F stuff up.
Diablo himself once walked this
But unfortunately, that's not always the best decision. So here's another elite.
I need fury.
I mean, that was just way too easy. But, okay, so we completed our first quest, I guess you could call this. So yeah, I like to explore all this stuff because not only can you find good stuff, but I plan on trying to pay off this game with the Real Money Auction House. You know, try and get about $60 out of this game so I can, you know, pay off everything in here. And if I could do that, I mean, that would just be amazing.
There's chaos everywhere.
Make this one of the best
and word
games
in
ever.
town is that Lagdanin killed the king. If only this is true. Perhaps our days and nights of living in terror are behind us now.
Alright, so there you get a little taste of the storyline to come. We find out that Lagdanin has killed the king. Now, for those of you who don't know about the storyline, you probably have no idea what that means. And honestly, I didn't either until, you know, a little bit farther down this the storyline road. So just bear with it now. And here we found a little cellar we can go into. See, right now, like I said, this early in the game, there's a lot of leeway as far as, you know, getting away with stuff. So I really like this cleave skill. You know, even though it does less damage, it hits multiple people, so it just kind of helps you move through stuff a lot quicker. And here, all right, this is what we're talking about. This has 3% better chance of finding magical items. That is huge. For anybody who knows anything about Diablo, magic find is what everybody makes a big deal over. You know, that's how you find your legendary items, you know, the set item. That's how you find everything that you want. And in my case, you know, you can sell for money. So the first thing I'm really focusing on selling, you know, is gold. So as you can see, I have 275,000 gold. from some of my other characters.
I promised Marco I'd protect
And
him, but now
that's I'm not, the real money auction house isn't up yet, so I'm not sure, you know, what in-game currency is going to go for in the real world, but hopefully you can get a few dollars out of that and at least get something started.
Thank you for your help. But could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
Nor should she. I will help her find him.
And if you're wondering, I have all that gold because I have a demon hunter in the second act on Nightmare. And I also have a co-op wizard who, if you guys have watched any of my other videos on this channel, you've probably seen her. Her name is, it's a he. His name's Divine Wrath, but I call him DW. So check that out. There's a little series of him. I think we're like 12 episodes in. We're in the second act with him with my friend Nags. So we are playing through that, and it's a little journey, you know, that you can follow. And if you come on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and you like and subscribe, you can kind of tell me what you'd like to see me try out with my wizard. So just keep that in mind when you're watching these.
Come, let us search for your uncle.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
And the same goes for this character and any other character I do walkthroughs for. If you
Here, let me open the gate.
if you follow me on Twitter, you know, you can suggest some things that you
Adria
would like to
was my
see
mother, but I don't know much about her.
with my
she
character.
died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What of your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons.
So right now we're trying to find, you know, Uncle Deckard. Like, once again, anybody who knows anything about this this game, you know who Deckard Cain is. You don't even have to know much about this game to know who Deckard Cain is.
Look, a hidden cellar. Follow me.
Deckard is probably, besides Diablo himself,
He said she was
Deckard
a
is
witch.
pretty much the face of this game. And right now he's lost. So we must find him.
Not enough fury.
Now see, normally when you see those little spikes on the ground, you know, you want to get out of there, but in that case, you know, he was all but dead. It was only going to take, you know, another shot or two, so I just decided, especially, you know, because it's so early, I haven't even gotten close to taking any kind of damage yet. So, you know, it's a habit of mine where I'm fighting, you know, bosses and elite people. When I get them down to, you know, the very last speck of health, I just sit in there, you know, no matter what character it is, I just sit there and just grind it out with them. Sometimes it's a bad decision because I die, you know, but
Here's the key,
chance you
and my
take.
mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
I will go. Stay here and learn what you can.
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again, but like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
Okay, so for those of you who just listened to that, that was Leah's mother. So it would be, I guess, Deckard's sister. And right now we were just in her hut, and she was talking about Leoric, who used to be the king of this town. All right, so we leveled up. We got a new skill here. Ground Stomp. Well, that's pretty good. Generates 15 Fury. I mean, it does have a 12-second cooldown, but that's really not all that much. Smash the ground, stunning all the enemies within 12 yards. 4 seconds. That's huge. You know, if you get surrounded, that's what you want. You want something like that, where you can just, you know, slam the ground. Everybody around you just gets stunned, and they have to wait. That's real big because the stuns work with bosses as well. So I with my Demon Hunter on normal, actually, the final, I don't want to give it away, but alright, here, spoiler alert for those of you who don't want to know who the final boss is. Don't listen. But Diablo is the final boss. So look at that, we got the exact same pants. Diablo is the final boss, and he is ungodly ridiculous to kill. And some of you might disagree with me, but with the Demon Hunter, it is very, very difficult. So I was having some problems. I died a few times against him. So I changed a lot of my skills to put stuns on, and that was actually how I ended up killing him, because with the stuns, the stuns work on the bosses. So he would, be trying to do a skill. I would hit him with a stun, and then the skill would get, interrupted. And then I could run, kind of go back, stun him again. And it was a very long and, repetitive, arduous fight. But, I did it. So that's all I really care about. You could call that, underhanded tactic, but I don't really care. Alright, so let's see here. I got some new gear here. I mean, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I don't have anything, so we'll wear those. That's alright. So here, let's see. We'll give you guys a little demonstration of ground stomp here. Let's run in here. Okay, so they're stunned. They can't move. And then you just kill them. And that's in a circle around you, for about 12 yards. So when you get a little bit, farther into this game and you start getting surrounded by people, that's going to be huge. That will literally save your life. Same with bosses. When the boss comes up, he's about to hit you, especially being a barbarian, because you have to be, right next to the bosses, which is not the smartest place to be. And I also like that. I like the environmental damage that they have in this game. But since you have to be right next to the boss, and it's not a smart place to be, you need something like that, where when they're about to hit you, throw this out, you stun them, and then you can run away, you can heal, or you can pull out one of your big skills and do some big damage to them while they're not moving.
Some foul new disease has taken hold in this land, and the carrion bats are near the heart of it. Since returning to Tristram, I have seen their numbers surge. The evil forces that linger here give them strength, and I fear that the worst is yet to come.
So as you can see, when they have, words next to them, like this is just a club, this is a balance club. The balance club just means that it adds attacks per second, which increases, your damage per second.
The grotesques may seem slow and senseless, but they hide many dangers within their hideously malformed bodies. A set of spikes lurks beneath the monster's flesh, and foul parasites nest within them. It is said that these horrors themselves are constructed by a greater evil, a darkness that I cannot even fathom.
Okay, so that was a little champion group right there. There was there was 3 of them right there, yeah, and they're kind of outlined in blue, and they're a little bit bigger than what normal zombies would be. Sometimes you'll get and elites are even a little step taller. Wow, those are some good gloves for right now. Yeah, so elites are even taller. So, sometimes there's some enemies that are already huge, and then when you get an elite version of them, I mean, they take up the entire screen. Yeah, and you want to get away. You want to get away from those guys when they explode, because they do damage. one thing you can do is try and, you know, set up enemies and make them, you know, explode next to other people, and they will end up, you know, killing the enemies for you. But being a barbarian, I have no interest in that. I want to just get in here and just, you know, bash some skulls like I'm doing. So here we go. We can just run in, use ground stop. Everybody around me, you know, was just stunned. So I can go in there and pretty much just have my way with the group. And we're starting to get into a couple, you know, bigger battles here. So I'm gonna just quick turn down the sound a little bit. So I think it might be a little bit loud. Alright. Not skills, we want to go inventory. What we get here? Okay. Yeah, nothing better. So right now we're doing 9.25 damage per second. Which, for right now, I mean, that's pretty good. But, okay, yeah, see, that's... But, you know, later on, that's absolutely nothing. I mean, my Demon Hunter... And Demon Hunters aren't even really set up to do the kind of damage that, you know, Barbarians do. My Demon Hunter is doing over 1,000 damage right now in Nightmare, you know, per second. And that's still not even that good, you know. I'm still having trouble killing some people, you know. Some people take a couple shots. So, that just shows you, you know, it's like Jay Wilson, you know, said pretty much that once... Oh, here, I'll let you listen to this.
Howl, minions, stay back! Back! May this web hold.
Nice, Deckard.
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
So, this is a little event right here. You know, gotta go save Deckard.
I will save you! Help! Help!
But, Jay Wilson said, you know, the bulk of this game, like, this game really starts after normal mode, you know? You get the story mode and you get the feel for stuff, but this game really, like, starts after you get out of it. Because that's when you start... See, the one thing you're going to notice, and, you know, some people might take this the wrong way, is that most of the gear that you get in normal all has the same, you know, kind of like, you know, attributes to it. And I kind of took that the wrong way at first too, but, you know, then I realized, you know, hey, it's just because this is normal. And once I got into Nightmare, I started seeing all kinds of, you know, different magical attributes, whereas in normal you're going to see mostly, like, you know, raise the main stats over here: strength, dexterity, intelligence, vitality, you know, like increases fury regeneration by a little bit, adds a tiny bit of damage like that, or, like, you know, magic and gold find, and that's about it. That's about all you're going to get for normal. Once you get into Nightmare, though, I mean, that you start getting the resistances, the critical hits. You know, that's where, you know, everything is. That's where... Nice, got some boots there. That's where, you know, that you start getting the diversity, along with the skill runes that they implemented. That's where you start getting, you know, your character, where then you can have the same type of gear, the same type of skills, but with the skill runes and then the magical attribute differences, you know, you can be completely different. Like, you can be a demon hunter who focuses, you know, mainly on critical hits, you know, where you have that hit that does, you know, like twice as much to 3 times as much damage as, you know, what a normal hit would be, because you just specialize in critical hits.
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
I have need of your knowledge, Deckard Cain. Leah will be happy that you live.
It is wonderful
So,
to hear that
that's,
Leah is
we
well.
find out Deckard's
I
good,
fear the
and,
worst. I learned
that
of
the Skeleton
secret
King there
passage
is,
through old
the
maps I
previous
found.
king of this land, who, his name is
We must
Leoric.
discuss the fallen star. Follow me.
So, pretty much, your hero came here to check out this fallen star, this meteor-type thing that came and,
I
destroyed this
have honored
cathedral.
my pledge to Leah and rescued Cain. All that stands between me and the mystery of the fallen star is the Skeleton King, whose return has again darkened Tristram.
So now we're starting the part of this act where we focus on killing the Skeleton King.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Time is running short. What can you tell me of the fallen star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
The ancients grant me strength.
So the one thing that I don't really like too much about Leah, especially early in this game, is how she's always, you know, talking to her uncle like he's crazy. You know what I mean? He lived through this. He was in Diablo 1. He was in Diablo 2. This dude has seen shit that, you know, you can't even imagine. And his niece is just pretty much telling him that he's a kooky old man, you know? Just some dude who just has no idea what he's talking about. You know, he's got books and books of shit. I mean, skeletons are coming back to life, you know, there's ghosts and shit, and she's just, you know, sitting there talking like, oh, you know, this is no big deal, Uncle, you're crazy. Oh, Uncle Deckard. I'm just like, you know, it's like, Leah, you need a reality check.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
And I mean, you know, she wasn't alive during the events of Diablo 1, and Diablo 2, I guess, if she was alive, she would have been very young, so she wouldn't, you know. But still, I mean, it's Deckard Cain. Come on.
Once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
A sad tale, but I seek the fallen star, and he stands in my way.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts.
For those of you who, you know, you're just starting, you might notice that you don't have this right here. This is the artisan system. This is the blacksmith here. Right now he's not here because he's part of this next quest, and you get him after this quest, but that's, you know, you're not going to have that right off the beginning. And then down here, this little diamond thing that you see, that's the jeweler. You don't get her for a little bit too. And artisan system is actually, you know, really big in this game.
You could help me find the crown of Leoric.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
It is regrettable, but it must be done. I will help you.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is the blacksmith, and pretty much he just said, a bunch of people have been bitten by these zombies, and they're infected now, and his wife is one of them. And I mean, you can't really blame the guy, because I wouldn't be able to kill my own wife either. But so we're here to help him. As unfortunate as it is, you know, it has to be done.
It must be done.
But these artisans, they can create stuff that is amazing, and it has magical, it's random properties. So you can make 6 pairs of pants, and each pair of pants will be, completely different. And they can make stuff that's so much better than what you already have, depending on what level you have your person at. Because you have to level them up, as I'll show you that. I kind of wasted it there. I got a little anxious. We pulled the trigger too early on that ground stomp there.
I've done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrig Aemon.
Hadrig, I need your aid. I must find the Oryx crown.
I can help you there. It's buried with his chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
Alright, so got some stuff here. Don't think any of these things. Ooh, a spear. But I think this magical dagger is gonna be better. Wow, look at that. 10.5 damage per second. That's a lot, this early. And 1.1% of damage dealt is converted into life, so you're healing yourself every time you hit somebody. That's definitely. Oh, and look at that. We got like a 4 points of damage increase. So, and another thing you wanna keep track of. See here, the dagger's attacks per second is 1.5, whereas the club's is 1.38. Your attack speed is also, how you can cast like your spells and your attacks. So like for me it kind of makes sense because all of my spells are attacks, but there's for like let's say the wizard, because I have a wizard character. The wizard is her spells.
There's a big crack coming this time. Stand your ground.
Sorry, I'm trying to focus here. Her spells and the rate at which she can cast them, depend on her weapon speed. So a faster weapon speed with a little bit less damage, could be, what you're looking for.
Scavengers are ugly, pathetic creatures who survive off of carrion and corpses, too diseased to attract any other carnivores. I did once meet a raggedy fellow who claimed that he had trained one of the beasts to bring him large rats to eat. But I'm sure the story is utter nonsense.
Every type, I pass the savings on to you.
So right now I gotta go work out because I guess I didn't really tell you guys too much about myself. My name's Brandon, and right now I am currently a student athlete at. See, this is where the blacksmith is, and you can show you that in a second. I'm a student athlete at Bloomsburg University in Pennsylvania. Right now, we're on break for the summer, but I play football there. I've played football, for about as long as I can remember. I guess since you're first able to, which would be like 4th or 5th grade, I think. And it's always been like my passion. That's like, other than video games, that's where my life is. It's football and video games. So I have to, I got to make sure. Even though this game, I've been waiting for this game for like 7 years, but I got to make sure I stay in good condition. We're trying to get a starting spot for this fall coming up. So got to make sure we get to the gym. I will be on, after, and we'll continue this series. So so this is how the real quick look at how the artisan works. So you got your weapons up here, armor, you salvage, and then your train. Okay, so we'll work our way up since we're at the bottom right now. To train them, it costs money. So every time you cost money, it'll go up, or you press to train, you'll go up a little bit. Like a 1/6 or 1/5 of a bar, around there. And what it says here is rewards for training. This is the rewards you get for training them one more time. Not, for the level up, but for, the next time you train them. So if I were to spend $7,000 right now, these are the 2 things that I would get. And as you can see, my blacksmith is at level 4 right now. And when you level them up, you know, their stuff gets nicer looking. You know, this everything like goes through like a visual change as well. And then eventually you start needing like blacksmith pages and stuff to level them up. But I'm trying to really, you know, save my money right now so I can put it up on the auction house. So I'm not gonna worry about that. As you salvage, you gotta get materials in order to build stuff. And you can only salvage magical items. So, like I said, a little bit later on, once you start finding magical items, there's literally no point at all in picking up non-magical items like, you know, these. So, you click here, click on salvage, you bring it over, salvage it, it'll tell you what you get, and then it'll show up in here. Let me just show you real quick in my stash I got. Actually, no, that's all, never mind, that's all with my wizard right now. So then, you know, this is your forge, your armor, and your weapons. See, when you click on this, these are the materials that you need. Okay, you need 19. What's on the right is what you need. What's on the left is what you have. You know, 19 of the subtle essence, which is what you get from, you know, the blue, the magical items. And then every now and then you'll get a, it's called a fallen tooth. It's yellow. It'll look like this. You'll get one of those from magic items, you know, every now and then. It's kind of rare, but if you salvage or break down a rare item, which is it's a yellow item like this, has a yellow name, and it has like, you know, 4 or more properties to it. That's, you know, they're called rare. There's the magic, the rare, there's set, and there's legendary. If you break a rare item down, you will get a fallen tooth every time. And then that's another thing you can see. See how this, you know, the name is yellow here for the Master Grimoire, whereas everything else is blue? It's because these have, you know, less than, they're all magic, you know, 2 magic properties, 3 magic, you know. This has 4 because it's rare, and that's obviously, you know, going to be better. So like this belt here, you know, you can go down here, and some of the stuff, as you can see, some of the stuff that the blacksmith can make is really, really good. So let's get down here, like this cap right here. You know, 54 armor with 4 magic properties. These pants, 78, 4 magic properties. You know, that's where, I mean, until you get up to like Inferno mode, where people are just dropping the most ridiculous stuff, this artisan right here is where you are going to get a lot of the kind of weapons that you wanna start with, you know. So like here, let's see if we can find one that's, wow, it's not to level 24 though, but okay, let's go down here, mace, level 24, 19, can't really use anything yet because we're such a low level. Because, you know, they don't, you're just getting them now, so they don't expect you to really have any of this stuff. But once you start leveling up, you know, you start getting stuff like this, where it's just, and you have all these magic properties, and it's random. So, you know, you hit it a few times, you can make the same, like this wand right here, you can make it 4 times, it'll be different every single time. Even in normal, where there's like a limited, you know, amount of magical properties available to you, once you're in Nightmare and you start making this stuff, you get all those extra ones, and Hell has more, and then Inferno, you know, has all of them. So that's where, don't get too discouraged by the fact that you keep finding stuff that has the same basic kind of magical properties, which here I'll show you real quick.
Found some interesting things on my latest,
you know, plus damage, monster
look.
kills grant experience, converted to life, damage converted to life. Wow, they have that. I found this dagger out in the woods, and this guy's selling it here for 1,700. He's selling it for 1,700, and I could sell it to him for $69. Tell me you don't see something wrong with that. Experience. Oh yeah, health globe pickup, and also like how much health globe, you know, does damage wise, or like helps you repair, and then regenerates life. And that's about all you're gonna see really for right now for the magical properties. So like I said, I'm gonna go work out now. It's legs day, so yippee. You know, we really, oh well, you didn't even realize that we had one of these. Do we have anything else? No? Okay. And we start getting skill runes at the next level, because we're level 5 right now. We start getting them at level 6. That's where, you know, the big differences are. Let's see here. Sweeping strike causes all nearby enemies to bleed for 210% weapon damage is physical over 3 seconds. Now see, that's kind of good. The only problem I have with that is, I mean, it hits a lot of people like Cleave does, but it's over, 3 seconds. So that's 70% weapon damage a second. Whereas Hammer of the Ancients is 200% immediately with 5% increased chance for a critical hit. So, and then especially with how quickly, we're killing people, the 3 seconds doesn't really matter, because by that time we could have already killed, everybody there. So we're gonna stick with Hammer of the Ancients for right now. And let's check out real quick what is our... Yeah, you want to click on details when you want to check out like the other stuff. Attacks per second, 1.5. That's pretty good. Okay, strength is the Barbarian's major attribute, and that's what it increases his armor and then how much damage they're doing. So right now our damage is increased by 22% because of our strength, and we have a 5% chance for a critical hit. So Hammer of the Ancients adds 5%, so we'll have a 10% chance for a critical hit, which, that's not too good, but it's also not too bad. So, and, oh yeah, another thing is, right here it says critical hit damage, plus 50%. So that's going to do, whatever damage you were going to do. If you get a critical hit, it's going to add, 50%. So if you're doing 100 damage, it's going to add 50. So you're doing 150 now. Which, that is a pretty big difference, especially once you start getting up into the, like, I've seen people who are doing, like 10, 15, 20,000 damage. So if you're doing 10,000, 50% is 5,000. So you're doing 15,000 damage. That's big. And then in Nightmare, you get items that, increase your critical hit damage, and they increase your critical hit chance. So you get, a bunch of that, and you can just rely on the critical hit itself. You can be doing 300% for your critical hit damage and, have like a 20% critical hit chance. And if you have that, I mean, every 5 hits, you're doing 300% damage. So let's go back to the 10,000. Now you add 300% of that, that's 40,000 damage, on a critical hit, which that's like one-shot kills, compared to hitting somebody, 3, 4, 5 times. So that's what that's some of the stuff that you want to think about. You want to be like a big bruiser, you want to be a critical hit specialist, stuff like that. And then down here we got Magic Find, Gold Find, Bonus Experience. Magic Find is where it's at. That's where you find, like I said, it's where you find the good stuff. The like my Demon Hunter, once I get to the correct level, there's a passive skill that you get, which is one of these down here. You get passive skills. She has a passive skill that every second your critical hit chance goes up by 3% until you get a critical hit, and then it resets. So you sit there, and then every 3%. Eventually you're gonna get up to the point where like say you put it on that, and you're waiting for a boss. You wait 15, 20 seconds, that first hit you have is going to be a critical hit. And then as, some of the boss fights, take a very long time once you start getting into the higher levels and the higher difficulties. I've seen people who fought, like bosses, co-op people, 4 people who fought a boss for 20 minutes, like a half hour just to kill, this boss. So that's a lot of seconds that are accumulating to help you get critical hits, and I'm definitely going to use that because that is huge. So we'll continue this talk once I get back from the gym. So this is I forget what's even my guy's name here. I think it's Talghar. How do I even check that? I have no idea. No, that's not it. Radic, no. Yeah, Talghar. There we go. So this is Talghar here, the Barbarian, and like I said, if you like and subscribe here. You can follow Talghar on his journey. You can follow my co-op wizard with me and my friend Divine Wrath, called DW. Follow DW, and then you follow me on Twitter, and you can suggest, see how things are going. You got a question that you want to try out. Say you disagree with me on this. The hammer out here first. The Rend call. Say you think Rend would be better. So you want to see Rend? Let me know on Twitter. Just keep watching, I guess. So guess we'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Requesting something, I'll change it.